Hello everyone, Naveen here. Welcome back to my channel Data Architect Diaries with Naveen Malik. So, I am going to tell you about something that genuinely blew my mind when I first learned about it. It is called Adaptive Query Execution or AQE. And here is the thing, it has the power to make your Spark jobs run 5 to 10 times faster, sometimes even 80 times faster. As per this, no code change, no new infrastructure, just enable a feature that's literally already built into Spark 3.2 and beyond. I have seen this in production, real queries, real data, 28-minute query drops to 7 minutes. That's not a typo, that is a 4 times improvement. And the best part, most teams have no idea this is happening on their cluster right now. So today we are going deep. We are breaking down what AQE actually does and why it works and how to spot when it's saving your bacon. Let's go. So why AQE exists? Okay. All right. Let's start with a problem that I know every data engineer has faced. You write a query, Spark Optimizer, the Catalyst engine, looks at looks at it and think, okay, I need to join these two tables. So it checks the table statistics maybe from the last analyze command you run it. Okay, so it says table A has a 1 billion row and the table B has 50 billion rows. Okay, based on that it decide, all right, it will be broadcast the smaller table and shuffle the larger one. Okay, it sound good. It can be right, but here is the problem. Those statistics, they are often dead wrong. So what if you run a filter first where country is equal to India and suddenly your 1 billion row table become 500 million rows? Okay, the statistics don't know about that. What if someone loaded fresh data overnight and now the table is 10 times bigger than the statistics say? Okay, so Catalyst already made its decision. Okay, it's locked in. It says broadcast. So Spark broadcast. So Spark do the broadcast for here. Okay, and now you are broadcasting 5 million rows across your cluster. Okay, so it from this it will also network goes bonkers, timeout, retries your 28-minute query just got worse. And that's the trap with static planning. Okay, so you get one shot, one chance to guess right. Okay, and if you guess wrong you find out while the query is already running, and by then it's too late to course correct. So here is the crazy idea. What if Spark could actually learn while the query runs? Okay. So what if instead of guessing upfront and committing to a plan, it could run the first part of the query. Okay. See what the actually happens. Get real members. Get real data size. Okay. And then stop, take a breath and think, okay, I was wrong, let me come up with a better plan. That is a AQE. That means adaptive query execution. So instead of plan once and pray it works, you got multiple chance to replan while the query run. So it's not a magic, it's just being matters about when you make decision. Now let's check how AQE execution means how it actually works. Okay, so let me walk you through how AQE actually works. It's a three-phase. That is a pretty straightforward. First one is the initial execution. Second one is the dynamic replanning, and the third one is the optimized execution. Okay, let's check one by one. So first one is the initial execution. So Catalyst creates its best guess plan and Spark starts running it. But here is the key. While those first stage are running, Spark is watching. Okay, it's collecting real metrics. So how many rows actually came through that filter? What is the actual size of the intermediate data? This is a real step, not an estimates. Second one is the dynamic replanning. Once Those initial stage finish, AQE push and says, wait, let me look at what actually happened. Okay, so the cost optimizers wakes up, it looks at the real number and think, my original plan does not make sense anymore. Let me build a better plan. This is the magic moment. The system admit it was wrong and fix it. Okay, now come into the optimized execution. Now Sparks run the rest of the query within the corrected plan, the one that makes sense based on the real data. And here is the cool part, this can happen multiple times. If you have a complex query with many joins, AQE can replan after every major stage. So multiple opportunities to get smarter. Now we will discuss about the AQE optimization. Now let's discuss about the optimization of through with the AQE. Okay. So what does AQE actually optimize? There are three main things. Let's start with join strategy. Okay. So here is the scenario. Your plan says shuffle join, but halfway through you realize one side of the join is actually tiny, small enough to broadcast. AQE sees this and thinks, wait, why I'm shuffling? I can just broadcast this. And it switch strategy mid execution. Okay, so I have seen this cut shuffle time from 45 minutes to 8 minutes. That is moving terabyte of data across your network versus keeping it local. It's a massive difference. Okay. Second one, we need to discuss about the partition coalescing. Okay. Imagine you are shuffling 1 terabyte of data. The plan says use 200 partition, that's 200 tasks running in parallel. That is the sound good. But after the first stage, AQE realize, wait, the output is only 50 gigabyte, 200 partitions for 50 GB. Most of these partitions are going to be nearly empty. So it's consolidated. Let's coalesce down to 20 partition instead. Okay, so we are going to decrease partition from 200 to 20 partitions for the 50 GB. Fewer tasks, less overhead, less work reading empty partitions. Okay. So we are talking about 20 to 30% reduction in task overhead whenever you are decrease the partitions from 200 to 20. Okay. So that adds up fast when you are running thousands of queries. And the big one is the SQE handling, that is the sorting. Okay, this is where AQE really fixes. Imagine you are doing a join on user ID and most user IDs have maybe thousands events. That is a pretty normal. But one user ID, let's say its user ID 12345 has 50 million events. In a normal shuffle, all 50 million rows for that one user ends up in the same partition, the same executor. While every other partition finishes in second, this is one partition is still chugging away. Load, it's also the loading the data, processing, but slow as a molest for that one. So this is a data skew and it is a killer. If any one of the executor having enough data, means the lots of data in a one partition and other partitions are having very less of data. I have already discussed in the last video for the data skew. So for the data skew, please check my last video in a detailed view. Manually, you would have to manually add salt to that key, split it into synthetic subkeys. That's the user ID 12345 underscore 1, user ID 12345 underscore 2. Okay, that is the distribute the work. So AQE does this automatically. It sees the skew, it applies sorting. That is the problem resolved. I have watched skew join go from 55 minutes to 9 minutes with this. That is 84% faster, and through this there is no core change. Okay, let me walk you through a real example. This is something I actually see on production system. Okay, here we have also the two tables. One is the user tables. Second one is the events tables. Okay, we do the some simple join based on both tables user and the events based on the user ID. Okay, and we do the filter on users table by country, and on the events we do the filter with the date filter is there. Okay, so here counts events per user. Okay, like we do the events count as per the users. Now let's talk about what Catalyst sees when it looks at this query. If we check without AQE, Catalyst check the statics table, that is the 1 billion rows. Events table also having the 50 billion rows. Okay, so if I filter user by country, I will get maybe 10%, that is the 100 million rows. Okay, if I filter events by the last 90 days, and I will get maybe 5% will be there. So that is 2.5 billion rows. Okay. So as per the decision, in the initial decision, we do some broadcast. That means the broadcast the 100 million user roles shuffles the 2.5 billion event rows. Okay. But it is the reality. It's not the reality for that one. The country filter for India is actually more selective than the statistics say you get 500 million rows, not the 100 million. That's the 200 GB of data. Spark tries to broadcast 200 GB across your cluster. It's through with the network match down or an executor's timeout waiting for the broadcast. The broadcast fails and Spark retries and it will fall again. So finally Spark gives up and falls back to a shuffle join, okay, which is what it should have done in the first place. Okay, so that is the total time here is taking 28 minutes. And we have wasted 10 minutes for the broadcast. So 10 minutes of those minutes were wasted trying to broadcast something that was never going to fit. So now let's see what AQE does. So here we have some stage, like through with the stage one filters the users, okay, and events table. So we can also collect the real states. If we talk about the result, that is also users is also having the 500 million rows, that is also 200 GB of data, and also event also having the 5 billion rows, like around the 500 GB of data. Okay, so after that AQE stops. It also replanning for the 2 to 3 minutes. Okay, so cost optimizer wakes up. 200 GB is a way over the broadcast threshold. No way I am broadcasting that switch to shuffle join. So while is it at it, it looks at the join key distribution. Wait, some user IDs have way more events than other. So it also detect the skew on that time. Decide to apply automatic sorting. Now it will go into the stage 2, that for the optimized execution. Okay, so it will wait for 3 to 7 minutes, it can be for that one. So execute shuffle join with the correct strategy, balance partition, skew handle, and there is no bottlenecks. After that it will for the final aggregation, that is also finished cleanly for that one. Here it will take around 7 minutes, that is the 4 times faster. That is the same query, same data, same cluster, and the difference is AQE go to adapt. Now let's discuss how to spot AQE in action. Okay, so how do you know AQE is actually working and how do you see it's happening? Whenever you open the Spark UI in the Databricks, go to the SQL tab and click on the query. So look at the execution plan. If AQE did something, you will see test like adaptive execution and replant 3 times. If there it is, AQ replan 3 times during this query. Okay, so in the DAG visualization, look for gray box. Those are the stages that were replanned. And in the matrix section, you can also check shuffle bytes read. Okay, so if it is lower, then you would accept AQE optimization work. Second one, it needs to be checked for the task count. If it went down, partition coalescing happened. Okay. Third one, it will check for the max duration. If tasks are more balanced, skew handling and kicking. Okay. Now, if you do run the same query with and without AQE, compare wall clock time, and that is your actual proof for that one when you enable your AQE. Now we need to discuss how do we enable AQE. Okay, how do you turn this on? So here is the thing, if you run on the Spark 3.2 or newer, it's already on by default. You can explicitly set it to be shown like spark conf set spark.sql adaptive.enable is equal to true. For the status, you can also check spark.configuration.cat spark.sql.adaptive.enabled. Okay, so now there are a few parameters you can tweak it if you want to get fancy. Okay, first one is the coalesce partitions. By default, AQE will consolidate empty partitions. Keep that you want that. Okay. Second one is the skew join. By default, AQE detect and handles skew and also keep that on. Third one is the broadcast timeout. Default is 5 minutes. If you have slow network, crank this to 10 to 15 minutes. Okay. So, but honestly, the default work, you don't need to overthink this. Let's discuss about configuration and tuning. Okay. So different teams need different things. Let me give you 3 scenarios. Okay. First one is the you have super skewed data. Maybe your workload always have highly skewed join keys. Okay. That is the spark.sql.adaptive.sql join .sql factor is equal to 3. It will be the more aggressive and it also the cache skew faster. Okay. Second one scenario is that you are running massive query that is 100 GB of data. Okay. So for this one, you need to set spark.sql.adaptive coalesce partition.enable is equal to true. And spark.sql.broadcast time is equal to 10 minutes. So it will also do the enable aggressive coalescing, give broadcast more time on the slow networks. Now third one is that if you are not sure, just enable AQE globally with all defaults, run for 2 or 3 weeks, monitor your Spark UI and see if your replanning is happening. Okay, so if you are improvement, keep it, and if not, investigate other bottlenecks like input output, network and the garbage collection. So now AQ is one optimization among many. It's not a magic bullet. Okay. So hope you have understood as per the configuration. So here 5 key takeaways where I want you to remember. First one is the AQ rewrite your execution plan while the query run. Okay. This is based on real data and there is no estimates. Second one is it is already enabled by default in Spark 3.2 plus onwards. You might already be using it. Okay. Third one is the there are the 3 main optimization technique. One is the join strategy conversion. Second one is the partition coalescing. Third one is the automatic skew handling. Now come into the monitor and measure. Monitor via Spark UI, it's looking for the replanned X times. Okay, markers. That is your proof. The last one is the real gains. Okay, so real improvement range from 6% to 84% depending on your workload. Not all the queries benefit equally. Okay, so the big picture is AQ is one of those features that quite runs in the background. Okay, and makes your Spark job faster without your having to change a line of code. Okay, so it's not a magic, it's a just smarter planning. So here what I want you to do. First one is enable AQ in your environment, verify it's on. Okay. Second is pick a complex query, run it with AQ enabled, watch Spark UI, see if replanning happens. Okay. Third one is compare, run it without AQE, compare whole clock time, see the difference for that one. Okay. Fourth one is check the logs, look for skew detected, partition coalescing, strategy change message. Okay. The last one is if you want to go deeper, subscribe this channel. Next, in the next video, we are dividing into AQ internal. So how does the cost optimizer actually make replanning decisions? Okay. What metrics does it use and where can you optimize further? This is generally one of my favorite Spark feature because it's so quiet, it's just work. But once you understand how it works, you start seeing it everywhere. So thank you so much for watching. If this helped, smash that subscribe button. Drop a comment about your AQE experience and I will see you in the next one. Thank you.